Welcome to the Everyday Real Estate Investor with Attorney Sarah Holmes. I am Attorney Sarah Holmes, and today we are talking to everyday real estate investors who buy property and then they have a commercial space in that property. So if you end up buying a space and it has a commercial section to it that you need to rent out to a business, there are some important things that you need to know about developing a commercial lease for your tenants. So commercial leases are generally very different than a residential lease. And if you happen to buy a property with some commercial space in it, you're going to always want to remember the 3 R's when dealing with a commercial tenant. First is realistic. So whoever you are going to lease your commercial space to, you want to make sure that their business is realistic. You don't want to rent to a tenant that's going to be in your space for 6 months or maybe a year and then unfortunately go out of business. You want to make sure that it's a tenant that can really stay in there for the long haul. So you always want to ask them, do you have a business plan? Can I get a copy of your business plan? When you review it, just think to yourself, is this a realistic plan? Would this work in my space that I have available? Oftentimes, there's certain types of businesses that will work in a commercial space, and then there's other kinds of businesses that wouldn't. So a space that might make a great office for like a real estate agent is probably not the great same kind of space for somebody that wants to open like a pizza shop. So always just think to yourself, is this business plan realistic, and is it realistic for this space that I have to rent? Also, in evaluating whether it's realistic, look at their financials. Like, are their business plan projections viable? Like, are they being overly optimistic? Do they have enough cash on hand to get themselves through that business, for ideally the next year, 18 months or so? All right, so that's the first R. Is it realistic? The second R is, what are your remedies in the event that your commercial tenant defaults on their lease? So if somebody stops paying you rent on your commercial space, you want to be able to either evict them or have some mechanism where you can recover the rent that's due to you. So what are your remedies? Make sure that those are always built into your commercial lease. Finally, the last R, renewal. Make sure that you give a good tenant some rights to renew, but make sure that the conditions are also fair and an appropriate business decision for you. The last thing you want to do is give a deadbeat tenant some renewal rights if they're behind on their rent, if they have made unanticipated changes to the space. Any kind of default, you don't want to be offering them a renewal, so make sure you address that. And those are the 4 R's of commercial space. If you've bought a property that needs a commercial lease to find a commercial tenant, you can always get in touch with our office to find out how we can help you develop a commercial lease. And thanks for tuning in today.